You can feel it. A little chill in the morning air, briskness against your skin in the morning. The lawn isn't growing as fast as it used to. It crunches a little more under your feet. Leaves on the trees are starting to turn different shades of color, away from the bright greens. School's starting. Hear the school bus engines roar in the distance. Everything, it seems, is slowing down a little, except one thing. It's a staple of this time of year, always has been. Sounds of grunts and growls, a lot of pushing and shoving, and absolutely no holding. Hard workers preparing for a job. A lot to do, a lot to show, a lot to prove. Hard lines, hash marks, X's and O's, a lot of film, and just plain old hard work. And they can use these lessons throughout life. It's the season we've all been expecting. Hello everybody, I'm David Sullivan. Welcome to high school football at Riptide on the River. Here with Coach Bert Browne, Madison Central High School football coach. We're kicking off the season of the Bert Browne Show, and we're doing that, taping it here at Riptide on the River, Bert, before your first game. But go back a couple of weeks ago, or a week or so ago from the time we taped, when you had a scrimmage against Bryan Station High School from Lexington. How did you feel about that scrimmage?
Not too bad. We did some things offensively that we could have probably done better. We missed some assignments, things like of that nature. But I was very pleased with the way the kids competed. I was very pleased with our defense. You know, we were the last ranked defense in 6A last year. We've got a new defensive staff, and they've done a great job. So I was really excited about our defense, and our special teams played well. Although there's some things that we have worked heavily on this week to get ready for our first game.
I know the special teams, I agree with you, turned in some big plays. You had a block punt. They picked up some turnovers on the kicking game.
Yes, sir, they did. And you know, that's one thing that we emphasize. I tell our kids all the time that you can win football games, especially at the high school level, with the special teams, because the emphasis that I put on special teams might be a little more than a lot of other people do.
What about the offense? How did you feel in that scrimmage about your offense? That's their first time out, obviously, coming out of camp.
Well, I think that, you know, we didn't do a lot of things that we can do. We blew some assignments up front, but anytime that you're coming into your first live action against somebody else, your kids are excited and maybe their minds jumping around and things like that, and they miss some assignments. You know, there's a couple times we should have scored that we didn't because of blown assignments. But on the flip side of that, the kids that missed their assignments were going after people. I mean, they weren't just standing there watching. They were missing an assignment, but they were going 100%.
Full speed when you make a mistake,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, so you know, that's what I see in our kids, is that the effort is there. We just have to fine-tune some things, and that's the way it is in scrimmages. You're going to have some mental mistakes and some physical mistakes, but we had more mental mistakes than we did physical mistakes. I think our kids played extremely hard and got after it.
So were you pretty pleased with them coming out of that as a unit?
As a whole, I was. There's a couple things that we needed to work on that we feel like is gonna help us. And our kicking game was one of those things that we did some good things in the kicking game, but we've got to squeeze better on our kickoff and not leave a hole in different places, and we've worked hard at that this week.
Overall, when you go into a season, of course, the goal is to win games, but what kind of goals have you set for this team, for yourself, What do you want to see these kids achieve this year?
Well, you know, we talk all the time about winning state championships, and that's something that when I got here, that's what I was talking about. You got the 5th largest high school in the state of Kentucky. You ought to be able to do that, and that's going to be our #1 goal, is to win state championships. Now, obviously, people will say, well, you won 1 game last year. Well, we've got our system in, we've got our weight room in that we did not have. It was not an emphasis before. Now it is, that I've gotten here, and our kids have gotten much stronger. So, you know, I think the sky's the limit for this bunch. They've worked awful hard.
All right, we'll be back and we'll have more with Coach Bert Browne after this. Stay with us. We'd like to thank our sponsors: Luxury Pets, the home of the happy dogs; the law firm of Luxon and Patterson; Riptide on the River Restaurant; Hopper's Jewelry; Jerry Goebel State Farm Insurance, Richmond; Dr. Dan Sipples Chiropractic Healthcare; Central Bank; Williams Tax and Financial Services; Regal Beagle Downtown Richmond; ERA Professional Hometown Services; Hall & Sons Auto Care; Be a Children's Champion; Reynolds Plumbing; Skipworth Veterinary Clinic; Super Save; Sight Savers Family Eye Care; Mackenzie Morgan Music; Davenport Custom Guitars, your local repair connection; First Gear in Richmond; Guardian Bank, home of the $250 deal. Listen to the Bert Browne Show on WWAG FM radio, real country playing stars and legends. Continue now with Coach Bert Browne on the Bert Browne Show. Bert, give us an overview of how you size up the talent on your football team.
Well, we're blessed with some pretty good athletes, and one thing that we talked about is our weight room. Our strength has gotten much better over the last year, to go along with some kids that are pretty athletic. So I think we've got a 1,000-yard rusher coming back in Jameis Chenault, who was a sophomore last year. That'll be a junior. The weight room has helped him tremendously. He's gained quite a few pounds. He probably needs to drop 4 or 5 pounds, but he'll do that as we progress here in the next couple of weeks. And we've got 2 quarterbacks that can play, in Hunter Stocker and Tucker Fair. Our front line is going to be a good bunch of football players that'll get after you. And defensively, we feel like we've got some kids that can run around and hit you. Daniel Foster is one of those kids that plays linebacker that did a tremendous job, and we've got some new guys out. We've got a few basketball players out that didn't play last year. Dominique Hawkins is going to be tailback, wide receiver, defensive back for us. And then Hunter Allen. Hunter is a young man that's about 6'5", 215 pounds. Going to play tight end, defensive end for us. That boy, I wish I could have had him for 4 years. He'd probably be about 245 right now, and probably have a few Division I offers. But he's a kid that there's possibilities for him to play at the next level, because he'll hit you. He's not afraid, and he likes to hit.
All right, let's take a minute now and meet some of these players and the positions they play.
Malik Hawkins, cornerback.
Hunter Allen, tight end.
Austin Coyle, strong safety and tailback.
Jonathan Floyd, tight end, defensive end.
Hunter Stocker, quarterback.
John Taylor, offensive line.
Wallace Rings, left tackle and defensive tackle.
Jameis Chenault, running back.
Welcome back to the Bert Browne Show. I'm David Sullivan. We're here at Riptide on the River. Great food, great service. Come down here and check out all of our fine sponsors that are helping make this program possible. Bert, let's talk a little bit about, more about your football team and what some of your expectations are.
Well, I think that with this group, any time that your football program has been down for a while, our kids are excited about the season. They've worked extremely hard. I gave them a week off after our last football game and told them enjoy a week because we're getting back in the weight room and getting back on the track and conditioning and speed work to get ready for this season. So I think our kids are ready, and I think they're excited about that because they have put in a lot of time and effort in this season.
When you look at a young man playing this sport, high school football, what do you see as the development that they can have for their life, not just for this season?
Well, I think it's the greatest sport that you can play on earth for life, because there's many times on a football field where you're going to be on that ground and you're going to feel like you can't get up, but you've got to, because there's guys that are counting on you. And I talk to them about that all the time. It's just like life. You're going to get married and have a family, and they're going to be counting on you to go to work, and you're going to feel like you can't go to work, but you got to. And it teaches you a lot about discipline, about being a disciplined person, and so there's all kinds of life lessons in football, and the sacrifice is the biggest thing. You're sacrificing a lot of your time. I tell our kids all the time they're special for being out here in this hot sun, working hard, doing those things when a lot of people won't do it or can't do it, you know. So our guys have put a lot of effort into this coming season, and it's, you know, like I told them, it's your season. Make it what you want to make it.
We'll be back with more. Stay with us here on The Bert Browne Show. Watch The Bert Browne Show on YouTube, Facebook, RosenbaumCommunications.com, and MadisonCentralFootball.com. We'd like to thank our sponsors. Time Warner Cable. Watch the Coaches Show on the Madison County Schools Channel 9. Watch the Coaches Show on Time Warner Cable Channel 5. As we're taping this Bert Browne Show at Riptide on the River, it's before the season starts, and Bert, I know that it takes more than a football coach and a football coaching staff and more than a group of players. It takes a whole family, if you will, of supporters to make this work.
Oh, sure. I mean, any time that you go out there on a Friday night, there's nothing like a Friday night football game. You know, a good friend of mine, Craig Faulkner, that played at Madison Central and played at Tennessee in front of 100,000 people, I can remember asking him when I was at Tennessee Tech and he was at Tennessee, I remember asking, what's it like to run out in front of 100,000 people? He said, you just can't hear anybody next to you. He said, other than that, I'd rather be running out at Madison Central, you know, because everybody knows you. You know, that's what he said. He goes, all those people know me. They watch me grow up. I loved running out and playing at Madison Central, and likewise for me, I loved it. But, you know, I used to brag all the time about us, that, you know, we would go away when I was playing, and a lot of times we would have more people than the home team that would follow us. And I think that Madison Central does that. When they see that you're going to be a good football program, people are going to support you. And they support us through thick and thin last year. You know, we had a lot of people at our football games, and that makes it worthwhile for the kids. When they can come out there on Friday night, it's a packed house, and they can see all those people that know them and then that support them and are there. The atmosphere of the football game at Madison Central is a great thing. It really is, and we need all the fans that we can get and to come out there and have a good time and support a bunch of kids that have worked their tails off.
You got a group of boosters and so forth?
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, Tim Gross is our Booster Club president, and he's helped me put this daggone bowl game that we started on, and he's done so much to help us, and our Booster Club has, and Tim's come up with some great ideas, and if it wasn't for that guy in our Booster Club, we couldn't do it, you know, because there's a lot of things that we don't financially that our Booster Club does for us that the kids need, that we've got to have them.
We'll be back with more in just a moment. We'd like to thank our sponsors. Luxury Pets, the home of the happy dogs. The law firm of Luxon and Patterson. Riptide on the River Restaurant. Hopper's Jewelry. Jerry Goebel State Farm Insurance Richmond. Dr. Dan Sipples Chiropractic Healthcare. Central Bank. Williams Tax and Financial Services. Regal Beagle Downtown Richmond. ERA Professional Hometown Services. Hall & Sons Auto Care. Be a Children's Champion. Reynolds Plumbing. Skipworth Veterinary Clinic. Super Save. Sight Savers Family Eye Care, Mackenzie Morgan Music, Davenport Custom Guitars, your local repair connection, First Gear in Richmond, Guardian Bank, home of the $250 deal. Listen to The Bert Browne Show on WWAG FM radio, real country playing stars and legends. Continuing now with Coach Bert Browne at Madison Central. And Coach, we've been talking about the support within the high school itself for you and your football program, how important it is, Friday nights. Also the administration and the school system, the entire...
Yeah, well, you know, that's one thing that we're blessed with at Madison Central in Madison County. We've got a great principal in Elmer Thomas. He kind of came in with me last year, was his first year, and he was Principal of the Year in the state of Kentucky last year. So, you know, we've got an excellent principal, great assistant principals, and a great superintendent in Tommy Floyd, who has just done wonders for Madison County schools, for all the schools. You know, that's one thing about Mr. Floyd. I think that he genuinely cares about the kids. He genuinely cares about everything that's going on. He wants to see Madison County schools, and whatever aspect it is, do great. And you know, we got a great band at Madison Central, and H. Brent Barton does an excellent job. And I tell our kids all the time how hard our band works. I mean, those guys and gals are over there constantly working. And our school system, we're very fortunate. I've been in a couple different school systems, and we are very fortunate to be in Madison County and have the support that we have from our administration and our school, our teachers. Great high school, you know, just you can't really talk and say enough about the support that we get from them.
Let's go back now and talk a little bit more on football and your outlook on football, and when you're coaching, the keys to defense. What do you, when you're working with these kids, what are your key points? One
of the keys, the first thing is you've got to be sound defensively. You've got to be able to line up on people and know where you're supposed to be and things like that. And then from building onto that, you go into swarming the football, everybody to the football, hats on the football. You know, you got to know your assignments. But defensive football is different than offensive football. Defensive football, you've got to react more than you do think. If you start thinking too much on defense, your feet get heavy, and you're going to miss some plays. But defensively, if you know what you're doing and you know how to line up, and you swarm the football, good things will happen for you.
What about on the offensive side?
Well, offensively, offensively is more mental. It's not, of course, not all mental, because it's got to be physical, but there's a lot to think about as far as, you know, we're a no-huddle offense, so we're calling a play at the line of scrimmage, so our linemen have about 3 seconds to figure out what they got to do when they hear the play. So that's pretty tough, and how you get good at that is you rep that in practice. I mean, we're continuously no-huddle in practice, where our kids are getting to where they understand what they're supposed to do, where they're supposed to be, and it's got to become second nature to you. And it's you know, we talk to the kids all the time about it's 11 guys, and they all got to be on the same page. You know, that's the big thing. Everybody offensively has to be on the same page, or bad things can happen.
One player miss an assignment on offense, and the whole play can go south.
It can be done. Yes, it can.
That's true. We'll be back with more with Coach Bert Browne. Stay with us. The Bert Browne Show is the property of Rosenbaum Communications, and distribution and recordings by any means is prohibited. To order quality copies of the program, please visit rosenbaumcommunications.com for information.
Hello, I'm David Sullivan.
And I'm Tommy Floyd, Superintendent with Madison County Schools.
We'd like to introduce you to 2 new high school sports programs. Watch the new Madison Central High School Football Coaches Show with Bert Browne and the Madison Southern High School Football Show with John Clark.
The shows will air on Madison County Schools Channel 9, as well as Time Warner Cable Channel 5.
Get in-depth thoughts and comments from coaches and players throughout the season. So if you enjoy local high school sports and the value and character they build, join us.
Because every student counts.
Well, I remind you, you can watch the Bert Browne Show here throughout the high school football season. You can pick up the show on MadisonCentralFootball.com. You can go to YouTube, and you can also go to Facebook. So follow us throughout the season. Coach, we talked about this year's team and getting ready to play the season. What's coming up? What about the younger kids that'll be coming into Madison Central High School?
First of all, our youth league is done a great job. We've got a lot of guys that work with our youth league that have a lot of patience and do a great job with them. They come on up and they go. We've got the Predators program that is for some younger kids too that Mike Brock has, and they do a great job. And then we've got our 3 middle schools, Madison Middle, Cottle, and Clark Moore's, and you know, it's something else to have 3 middle schools that feed your high school, because you've got 3 quarterbacks that have started that come into your 9th grade. You've got 3 tailbacks that have started. You've got 12 defensive linemen that have started. You know, so anytime that you can have that many middle schools that feed you, it's a great thing. Our middle school coaches do a great job getting kids out, and we go, as high school coaches, we go to a lot of their games when we can get by there and we're not watching film, things like that. But, you know, the middle school is a massive thing for us. It's a massive thing to get those kids in there. I think we've got 38 9th graders right now, and I want to see 60, 65, 70 9th graders. That's my goal here, for us to get all of those kids that play 8th grade football to come to the high school and want to play and be a Madison Central Indian.
Reminder, this show is a production of Rosenbaum Communications. We'll be back in just a minute with more.
We'd like to thank our sponsors: Luxury Pets, the home of the happy dogs; the law firm of Luxon and Patterson; Riptide on the River Restaurant; Hopper's Jewelry; Jerry Goebel State Farm Insurance Richmond; Dr. Dan Sipples Chiropractic Healthcare; Central Bank; Williams Tax and Financial Services; Regal Beagle Downtown Richmond; ERA Professional Hometown Services; Hall & Sons Auto Care; Be a Children's Champion; Reynolds Plumbing; Skipworth Veterinary Clinic; Super Save; Sight Savers Family Eye Care; Mackenzie Morgan Music; Davenport Custom Guitars, your local repair connection; First Gear in Richmond; Guardian Bank, home of the $250 deal. Listen to the Bert Browne Show on WWAG FM radio, real country playing stars and legends.
Hello, I'm David Sullivan.
And I'm Tommy Floyd, Superintendent with Madison County Schools.
We'd like to introduce you to 2 new high school sports programs. Watch the new Madison Central High School Football Coaches Show with Bert Browne and the Madison Southern High School Football Show with John Clark.
The shows will air on Madison County Schools Channel 9, as well as Time Warner Cable Channel 5.
Get in-depth thoughts and comments from coaches and players throughout the season. So if you enjoy local high school sports and the value and character they build, join us.
Because every student counts.
We're going to continue now with Bert Browne as we are coming to you from the river at Riptide. Good place to come and have some fun and good food. Coach, let's look ahead. You got a week off, got an open date, and then you get right back into action.
Yeah, then we're going to Mercer County, so we'll be there for our next game, and we'll have a week off, like you said. We can work on some things that happened in our first ball game, and see go from there. You know, I'm excited about the season. I know our kids are. We're going to be in our red jerseys this year for most of the home games, so we've got some new red jerseys, and I think the guys are excited about that. I'm excited. We're going back to the red, what Madison Central is. We've been blue. You know, that's one of the things when I got here, I said, hey, we're red. Madison Central's red. So we got red jerseys, and the guys are excited about that.
Coach, I wish you the best of luck as you go into this season, and I look forward to being able to sit down here with the Riptide throughout the season and talking about some victories.
Well, I appreciate it.
All right. I'm David Sullivan. Thanks for being with us here at Riptide on the River. We'll be here throughout the season with Coach Browne. We want to thank Time Warner. We want to thank Rosenbaum Communications and all of our fine sponsors, Madison County Schools, for helping put this program together. We'll see you next time. I'm David Sullivan. So long.
We'd like to thank our sponsors: Luxury Pets, the home of the happy dogs; the law firm of Luxon and Patterson; Riptide on the River Restaurant; Hopper's Jewelry; Jerry Goebel State Farm Insurance Richmond; Dr. Dan Sipples Chiropractic Healthcare; Central Bank; Williams Tax and Financial Services; Regal Beagle Downtown Richmond; ERA Professional Hometown Services; Hall & Sons Auto Care; Be a Children's Champion; Reynolds Plumbing; Skipworth Veterinary Clinic; Super Save; Sight Savers Family Eye Care; McKenzie Morgan Music; Davenport Custom Guitars, your local repair connection; First Gear in Richmond; Guardian Bank, home of the $250 deal. Listen to The Bert Browne Show on WWAG FM radio, real country playing stars and legends. The Bert Browne Show is the property of Rosenbaum Communications, and distribution and recordings by any means is prohibited. To order quality copies of the program, please visit rosenbaumcommunications.com for information.